This is necn Tonight.
Breaking tonight, a massive fire burning in North Andover.
We're live at the scene.
Tracking severe weather moving in tomorrow, the hour-by-hour timeline in your first alert forecast.
A woman accused of leading police on a chase and crashing with a young child inside her car. What police say she did next.
I just heard something coming up behind me. That's what I knew.
A man accused of attacking two women within hours. Tonight, one of them sharing her exclusive story. necn Tonight starts now.
We are following two top stories tonight. Sky Ranger over a massive warehouse fire that is burning in North Andover. Multiple crews are responding. We'll have a live report on that fire in just a moment.
But first, we're also tracking severe weather that will impact your day tomorrow. That's a live look at the radar. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Burnell.
And I'm Melody Mendez. We are in red for a first alert tonight. So let's get right to meteorologist Chris Gloniger for the latest on what we can expect, not just tonight, but into tomorrow, Chris.
That's right, Mel. Brian, we are tracking the potential of seeing some strong to severe storms across the area. Tonight is all quiet. The near storms are down towards our nation's capital. As you look at the forecast going from tonight to tomorrow, that's when things begin to shift. We're expecting temperatures to be in the mid-60s, which isn't too bad for this time of year, but the humidity is on the climb, and that's when it becomes really oppressive late tonight, early tomorrow, and that's the fuel for those storms to get going. As far as our storm chances, it ramps up late in the morning, especially during the early afternoon, and then we kind of peak between 2 and 5 p.m., and then the activity will begin to wane once we get past sunset. As far as the modes, the types of severe weather that we're expecting, the greatest potential is for damaging wind. Hail is also a possibility, and also an isolated tornado can't be ruled out. I'll have the hour-by-hour timing of it coming up in your first alert exclusive 10-day forecast.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. Back to that breaking news we were just talking about at the top of the hour. Intense flames burning for hours. This is at a recycling warehouse. As you can see, smoke billowing from the complex's roof. Multiple crews, as you can imagine, are on the scene, and that includes a hazmat team. Our Perry Russum is live for us in North Andover tonight with the very latest. Perry?
The fire has been going on for 3.5 hours. We know the building was empty when all of this started. Nobody was inside, and nobody has been hurt. The black cloud could be seen rising from more than 8 miles away. From the sky, the smoke swept across the Merrimack Valley. And on the ground, the source of it all. Wild flames burning piles of recyclables in North Andover.
The problem is you have large piles, with a lot of material piled up, and the fire will work its way down in. So now it's a deep-seated fire.
This is the home of Thompson Brothers Industries. It's where they recycle construction debris. The first call was made at 6:30 when workers were done for the day. It has been a challenge to get water down the dead-end road. A hose had to be driven and dragged across Route 125 to a more powerful hydrant.
We're trying to get as much water on it as we can. Eventually what we'll probably have to do is just start picking it apart, working our way down through the pile with heavy equipment.
So right now they are picking up the fire hoses, which is a good sign. The issue now is the air quality. They are testing the air as we speak. The fire department is asking people at home to keep your windows closed and stay inside as this is burning. We're live in North Andover. Perry Russum, necn.
Perry, thank you. All new tonight, surveillance video. Police in New Hampshire say shows a woman leading police on a chase and then crashing and running from the scene, leaving a young boy behind. necn's Malcolm Johnson is live for us tonight in Nashua with the new information we're learning. Malcolm?
Brian, tonight we are learning that the driver, the mother behind the wheel, was fleeing police in the very first place because they allegedly caught her driving while distracted. This BMW went flying through several front yards before crashing into this fence on Amherst Street Tuesday afternoon. The driver, 32-year-old Tracy Pelletier, took off.
There she goes with her purse and her phone.
What she took, far less valuable than what she left behind.
She left her child and her little boy. As I was coming out, I saw him fall out of the door to the back seat.
Surveillance video shows Pamela LeDuc taking care of the panicked little boy.
Heart was racing. You could tell he wanted his mom. I don't know if he spoke English. He wouldn't talk to me. He was crying.
This poor little boy, he was like so shocked. He didn't probably know what the hell was going on.
Her boyfriend, Eric.
This is no shoes, Eric.
Chased after the boy's mother with police not far behind. Pelletier sped down Amherst looking to evade police after being seen on the phone while driving.
I'm just grateful that
This was only property damage.
Damage that can be fixed. And a child that did go to the hospital will be just fine, in part because of another mother's actions.
I'm a mom. I'm a grandmother of 9 grandchildren. My first instinct was the baby, not anything else, just the child.
And the mother is being charged with a number of offenses, including disobeying an officer and endangering the welfare of a child. We're reporting live tonight in Nashua, New Hampshire. I'm Malcolm Johnson, NECN.
Malcolm, thank you. We have new details tonight on the scandal within the RMV. Tonight, another top official off the job. It comes after a deadly crash in New Hampshire uncovered a stunning backlog within the department. NECN's Michael Rosenfield joins us live tonight from Boston with more. Michael?
Melody, the director who was fired today, did take responsibility for the failures inside his department. Still, that did not help him to keep his job amid this ongoing scandal this summer inside the RMV. It was this horrific crash in New Hampshire this summer, which left 7 motorcyclists dead, that led to an eye-opening scandal inside the Registry of Motor Vehicles in Massachusetts.
The tragedy that occurred on June 21st should never have happened.
Thomas Bowes headed up the division's Merit Rating Board, which is supposed to suspend driver's licenses after receiving notifications of out-of-state driving infractions. But the board hadn't moved on thousands of alerts.
I take full responsibility for the role my department played in this event. I agree with the findings of the Graham Thornton report, which outlines the multiple failures in the registry system.
The immense backlog came to light when Volodymyr Zhukovsky allegedly crashed his truck into the group of motorcyclists. Zhukovsky, who lives in Massachusetts, should never have been on the road. His driver's license should have been suspended after the state received a notification from Connecticut that he was arrested for allegedly driving under the influence. But nothing was ever done.
All in favor? Aye.
Bowes was fired Tuesday.
The system is completely failed.
Bowes' attorney says his client is a scapegoat for wide-ranging problems within the RMV.
They need to fix the system and not basically decide we're going to pick 2 or 3 people and take away their jobs.
Bowes is not done with government. He is a city councilor in Braintree, and he's also a candidate for mayor there. Live in Boston tonight, Michael Rosenfield, NECN.
Thank you, Michael. New tonight, a Connecticut investment banker accused of killing a hotel worker during a family vacation is speaking out. NECN's Chris Emma is in the newsroom with the details on this. Chris?
All right, so Brian, this story has gained national attention. Darien, Connecticut resident Scott Hapgood, he wants to set the record straight about what happened inside of a luxury hotel room in Anguilla last April. He was with his wife and his 3 children inside their room when he says a hotel worker, Kenny Mitchell, entered armed with a knife and tried to rob them. Hapgood was charged with manslaughter in Mitchell's death, which authorities say was caused by suffocation. Hapgood says it was all in self-defense.
My wife, my children, we wake up with it, we live in it, we swim in it, we breathe it every day. We want the same thing as the people of Anguilla, for the truth to come out.
Now, a toxicology report shows that Mitchell had drugs and alcohol in his system, but his family says he had a good job and no reason to rob them. As for Hapgood, he will travel back and forth to the island for required court hearings. Live from the newsroom, Chris Emma, NECN.
New surveillance video of a deadly stabbing in Lynn, Massachusetts tonight. Take a look. You can see the fight that police say led to the stabbing yesterday afternoon. Police say Beatrice Ortiz is accused of stabbing Charles Stankiewicz with a steak knife in the area of Union and Green Streets. Stankiewicz was taken to the hospital where he later died. Now, Ortiz was in court today where she was charged with murder. She was ordered to be held without bail. She is due back in court next month.
Happening now, several communities are spraying for mosquitoes. Worcester, East Boston, and Andover started spraying around sunset. This comes after 2 people in the state were recently diagnosed with triple E. The spray used on the mosquitoes is classified as slightly toxic to humans, but health officials say it does not pose a significant threat.
New video tonight shows a shark hunting off the Cape, and you can't quite see what the shark was eating, but you can see its fins there very clearly. The Atlantic White Shark Conservancy says this was near Head of the Meadow Beach in Truro. This is just one of several sightings near this particular beach so far this summer.
I always tell people, like, oh, if I'm ever in that situation, like, I'll just kick or I'll, like, hit or whatever, and, like, I froze.
Still ahead, an NECN exclusive, a woman sharing her frightening story after a violent assault in Boston.
Also, from stylist to sculptor, a unique local artist mastering two professions.
And we're staying on top of the breaking news, that fire at a recycling facility in North Andover, Massachusetts. No one's been hurt, but it is still burning. Stay with us.
At Marvin, we make more than just windows and doors. We make fresh breezes and nightlights, relaxing retreats, open invitations, and peace of mind. At Marvin, we make windows and doors inspired by how you live, so you're inspired to live well.
Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses has been in business since 1928. And we're celebrating with up to 50% off Labor Day clearance savings in all departments. Cardi's offers the largest selection of furniture and mattresses with the best customer service. Shop Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses today. And for a limited time, save up to 50% off floor sample clearance closeouts or get 0 down and 0 interest financing until September 2022 on non-clearance merchandise. Online or in stores, nobody beats Cardi's. Nobody.
There's a lot to love about. There's a lot to love about you.
There's a lot to love about driving a brand new Subaru Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive. Lease for only $239 per month. With so much to love, you don't want to miss the Subaru of New England A Lot to Love clearance event.
There's a lot to love about. There's a lot to love about you.
Surprise!
Life is full of surprises. Don't let your home's electrical service be one of them. At Heritage, our electricians offer the same reliable service and upfront pricing we've been known for since 1986. That means we show up when we say we will and charge you what we said we would.
Great party, huh?
Take the surprise out of your electrical service. Just call Heritage.
NECN, making a difference. NECN and Citizens Bank are proud to announce Disabled American Veterans Transportation Program as our champion in action.
This is Eileen from the DAV. Can I help you? And what time is your appointment?
The volunteer-run service provides rides to and from medical appointments.
It's almost like an Uber system in some regard.
It's a way to make sure disabled vets who served our country get the services they deserve. For more information about the DAV Transportation Program and Champions in Action, visit necn.com.
Tonight, an NECN exclusive, a man accused of attacking two women within hours of each other in Boston.
Now, tonight, one of the alleged victims is sharing her story. She was attacked right before another woman was stabbed on the Esplanade. NECN's Eli Rosenberg is in Boston tonight with the story you'll only see right here.
When state troopers moved in to tackle and arrest a suspect in an attack on the Esplanade, it ended a day of terror involving, it turns out, more than one woman.
I've just heard something coming up behind me, and that's when I knew.
For Christina Muccio, that summer Friday started like many others. She was walking to teach a fitness class around 4:30 a.m. in Beacon Hill when a man ran up behind her.
As I was looking back, grabbed my bag, flipped me around, and was like this close to my face.
Muccio was able to get away. In shock, she filed a police report.
At that point, it's like, if you're capable of that, like what else are you capable of?
That answer would come hours later after a 23-year-old out for a run on the Esplanade was randomly attacked. After a chase through the Back Bay, police arrested 37-year-old Luis Olivio, recovering a pair of scissors nearby.
It was a piece of paper, and he like held up the paper, and I was like,
a heart-skipping moment for Muccio after she just recently got a letter in the mail naming the man arrested in connection with her assault. A little Googling, revealing it was the same man as the Esplanade attack.
I'm like, okay, this is really insane. This is crazy. So I look back, and it was the same day.
Not only was it the same suspect, but the attacks happening on the same day, just hours apart. Since Muccio says she's been filled with what-ifs, especially as she learned more about the Esplanade stabbing and the man now charged in connection with it.
It's an experience that I'll turn into an opportunity to grow.
Looking to turn this bad into a positive after the closest of encounters. In Boston, Eli Rosenberg, NECN.
First alert weather now. We are in red because our team is tracking severe storms for tomorrow.
Yeah, we're talking heavy rain, lightning, damaging winds, all expected to be associated with these storms. So let's get right to meteorologist Chris Cloninger tonight with the latest. Chris?
Mel, Brian, it is pretty busy tomorrow. I think during the afternoon, especially, some of those storms could be strong to severe. Most of New England will likely see some kind of thunderstorm, whether it's just strong or if it does reach severe limits. And then even isolated storms continue into the day on Thursday. So we'll take you through the hour-by-hour timeline. Even first thing in the morning at 7 o'clock, you can see from the Berkshires into the Southern Greens, we have some ongoing thunderstorm activity. That will lift into the White Mountains. Some of these storms along the warm front might rotate, which means there is an enhanced tornado potential with those thunderstorms. And then watch this line at 3 o'clock that goes from the Northeast Kingdom down to the northern Berkshires. That will move to the south and east and could be strong to severe. You see these elements of red and orange. That's where we expect the worst of the weather. And it continues to drop south and east from 5:30 to 6:30. And then eventually by 11 p.m., most of the activity is winding down. I think once we get past sunset, the severe potential will start to lessen. Again, you want the peak heating of the day to get the storms going. Speaking of that, the humidity, the sunshine, the fuel for those storms, the areas that see the most fuel are going to be along and south of the Pike. That's where we could see the worst of the weather. High amounts of energy across the Green Mountains and a portion of the White Mountains, and then less of a chance of severe weather across down east and up through the Crown of Maine. The potential is there that these storms could rotate. And this is a look at the potential of where the storms could rotate. Don't get caught up in the exact placement, but you'll notice these areas of blue. That's where the atmosphere is kind of spinning like a top. And if one of those thunderstorms coincides with that area of rotation, well, that's where we could see an isolated tornado. So that is a risk you need to be aware of going into the day on Wednesday. But 60 to 70 mile per hour winds are a pretty good bet with any of the thunderstorms that form tomorrow, and also the possibility of 1 inch in diameter hail. So prepare for power outages if you are in one of the towns that's hit hard by those thunderstorms. 50s north tonight, 60s and 70s turning oppressive tonight with a southeast wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow expecting temperatures well into the 80s across most of New England. South wind at 15 to 20 miles per hour. It's even hotter on Thursday, back to 90 in Boston, in Providence, approaching 90 in Hartford. Again, if we don't hit it tomorrow, we'll likely hit it Thursday. With the actual cold front moving through, it's possible that we could see an isolated storm, but the greatest chance of seeing widespread storms will be tomorrow. Improving on Friday, the weekend looks wonderful, almost fall-like with overnight lows into the 50s. And daytime highs, Mel and Brian, only in the mid-70s.
All right, Chris, thank you. In tonight's Uniquely New England, styling hair is certainly an art form, but a local Boston hairdresser is winning awards for another kind of art. Our Jackie Bruno has this Uniquely New England story.
For years, Erin McCarthy has been sculpting hair at Zafar on Newbury Street. Teasing, twisting, and taming strands into beautiful updos. But this Boston stylist is also an accomplished sculptor.
So I sculpt people. I always sculpt people.
Her figurative art is based in realism, which is why she always uses live models.
I find to be the best way to create a piece that really seems alive, that comes alive.
She even keeps a skeleton close by to make sure the proportions are just right.
So this is the portrait that I did of my father. It's called Simple Man.
This incredible, detailed bust just won a major award, first place out of thousands of entries from the Portrait Society of America. An amazing accomplishment considering Erin's only been sculpting for less than 10 years.
Looking back now, I always can see that my passion was in 3D sculpting.
If you hear an accent, it's a souvenir from her 4 years studying in Italy, but she's a hometown girl from Medway.
I lived in Paris for a long time. I lived in Florence, Italy for a long time. Sculpture is just flowing out of them. And I look at Boston and I think we need that too. Like the city is there's so much potential for art here.
And she hopes she can carve out her place locally. In Boston, Jackie Bruno, NECN.
That is so impressive.
That is.
That is a real talent.
It really is.
I see that and I'm like, yeah, I could never.
It is. Kev, what's
I
going
couldn't
on?
even come close. Chris Sale is back, not playing, but he's talking, and much of what he says is not as bad as you think. We'll get into that when we come back in sports.
necn, making a difference. necn and Citizens Bank are proud to announce Disabled American Veterans Transportation Program as our champion in action.
This is Eileen from the DAV. Can I help you? And what time is your appointment?
The volunteer-run service provides rides to and from medical appointments.
It's almost like an Uber system in some regard.
It's a way to make sure disabled vets who served our country get the services they deserve. For more information about the DAV Transportation Program and Champions in Action, visit necn.com.
Your brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Keeping it awesome.
Hey Dante, what are you doing here?
I had a couple days off and I thought I'd see if you need any help selling cars. I figured it's never too late to learn a new skill.
You're gonna help me sell cars? You know, if you work really hard.
I love to work hard.
And you hit your numbers.
Oh, I can hit some numbers.
You can make a pretty good living.
I've watched videos of how other dealerships sell cars and I don't think that's really for me.
But we do it a little bit different here. When a customer comes in, you don't rush them.
So let the play develop.
Right. Wait and see which way they're gonna go.
So like in a nickel factory.
Well, at Dan O'Brien Kia, we don't nickel and dime people here.
Okay.
One thing you have to do is ask them if they're interested in talking about their trade.
I'm not interested in talking about any trade.
Is that a joke?
Yep.
Then you have to see if they have anything to put down.
Like down set hut?
Is that another joke?
Yep.
So you're really not here to sell cars, are you?
Nope.
Then what are you really doing here?
I just came by to say, Dan O'Brien Kia, keeping it awesome.
After handling automobile crash cases for the past 30 years, we know that injuries can last a lifetime. In almost all of our car crash trials, the insurance company tries to classify these permanent injuries as temporary sprain strains. They say the injury was pre-existing, even if the client had no similar pain complaints in the past. If you've been in a car crash, dial pound law on your cell phone. We'll start working on your case immediately to fight for full and fair compensation. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Red Sox back in action tonight, looking for their sixth straight win as they begin a two-game series against the Philadelphia Phillies. Brian Johnson allowed 3 runs in the first inning for the home team. The Red Sox cut it to 3-2 thanks to a Jackie Bradley Jr. home run. And that's where we stand right now in the bottom of the 9th inning. Then there's Chris Sale, who talked to reporters after a day-long trip to Florida to meet with famed orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews. To hear Chris Sale tell it, it's better than no Tommy John surgery. He suggested no tears in his UCL. That's the most important part of a pitcher's elbow. Still, it's been a cruddy year.
You know, everyone talks about last year being the dream season. Personally, this has been kind of the nightmare season. So, you know, I obviously wanted to see it through, wanted to keep fighting with the guys. You know, we still have a shot. So, you know, anytime someone has to step in and do your job for you and you can't go out there and fulfill the season, that's tough.
For a wide receivers cupboard that seemed bare not all that long ago, suddenly Tom Brady has an embarrassment of riches. Today it's Demaryius Thomas's turn to kind of sort of fully return from injury. That's Thomas wearing number 88 in shorts with something hanging out of his back pocket and red gloves. He's not all that far removed from tearing his Achilles tendon. That was week 16 when he was with the Houston Texans. Thomas is a big body, and when he feels like playing hard, he's hard to stop. 4-time All-Pro, 5 times he's gone over 1,000 yards receiving. Thursday night preseason football action at Gillette. Devin McCourty says, let's do it.
It's fun to play at home and to get an opportunity for the first time this year to be in front of our home crowd. I know they'll appreciate us, and I think for us it's going out there playing with maximum effort. And even though it's still early in the season, there's going to be mistakes. I think just to go out there and play hard and fast.
Hey, that's Celtic star Gordon Hayward doing his Brian Scalabrine imitation. Way better, though. Just trying to provoke Scal because that's great fun. All right, here's what's going on. He's actually visiting his special family in Burlington, Mass. The Celtics and Arbella Insurance donated a custom backyard hoop and court to the family. 11-year-old Steven and 9-year-old Joseph Benevento were born with albinism. That's a genetic disorder that impacts vision and skin, and it makes being outside in the sun usually short and often uncomfortable. The backyard comes with LED lighting so the kids can play outside at night. Inside, there's a mega swagged out TV room, and Gordon Hayward was blown away by it all.
This backyard court is pretty amazing. Their backyard in general with the pool too is pretty unique, pretty cool, and so I love doing these things.
It was fun. It was an experience I will never forget.
How late are you going to play on this court? How late at night?
Probably like 2 a.m.
We get out of work at like midnight, so 2 a.m. isn't half bad for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get we'll be over. Yeah, we'll go hoop it up. We'll 3-on-3. Yeah.
So we had the kids doing the little running in place. Did he have them do some suicides too, just to make them really get the feel?
He might have. Gordon's good. He's got little kids himself, so he's like, yeah, you gotta make it real. I'm with you.
So mean.
No.
Make those kids run suicides. Those things were awful.
Settle down, easy.
Big basketball player in your day?
Yes. Can't you tell with my height? All 5'2" of me. I was a star. Okay, so thanks, Brian.
No problem.
You know the saying, no good deed goes unpunished? Well, that's certainly true for this Cambridge police officer who's paying the price for helping this little skunk. That's Officer Dan McGinty. He responded to the call for a skunk with a yogurt cup stuck around its head, right? So he went to this dog park, tried to help the skunk repeatedly. Well,
oh man,
everything was going well until you're about to see it.
Oh.
Yep, he got sprayed. Yep, that just happened.
Oh.
Here's the good news, the skunk is fine. That poor officer's got nowhere to sleep because I'm guessing his wife's not letting him in the house for a few
you know the
weeks.
shed? Wow. All right.
So that poor guy. Well, yeah.
We got some weather coming in.
A busy day tomorrow, and then we finally cool off, dry out, and we have a nice weekend on tap.
All right, we'll take it. Thanks so much for joining us. That does it for us. I'm Melody Mendez.
I'm Brian Burnell. He's Kevin Walsh. Walsh? Chris Groninger over there.
Wolf is his nickname.
I need to get some sleep.
My dad served in World